Hey guys, today's comparison is going to be a very interesting one, primarily because ASUS created a stir in the market with the ROG Phone 2, and then everybody went on to say RIP OnePlus.
Even the ASUS ROG One was like, am I a joke to you? Because they cut the price in half and made the phone 2-3 times better. So this is the ROG Phone 2 and that is the OnePlus 7T. And today we're going to talk about both these phones.
The OnePlus 7T is actually a great flagship phone, you guys know that very well, but it is also a good gaming smartphone.
And the ASUS ROG Phone 2 is one of the most phenomenal gaming smartphones available and also happens to give you a good smartphone experience.
So what should you buy? Should you buy a gaming phone or a great flagship phone? That's what we're going to find out in this video. I'm Ershad from Mr. Phone.
This is Sreehari from Mr. Phone.
Let's get this video started.
Before jumping into the video though, do not forget to subscribe by hitting the red subscribe button and also hit the bell icon right next to it so that you get notified when we put out a new video.
Alright, so today's video has a sponsor and it's a very interesting one. This is the first time that we're doing a sponsor for Glazed Ink.
Yes.
And these guys make screen protectors. One of the things that happens a lot, Shree, is I've noticed that people buy off the cuff, like, screen protectors right from the street.
Exactly.
Which are not that good.
Which are not that good. Generally, you do not even get the screen protector exactly for your phone. These guys cut down plastic pieces and give you the screen protector. And that happens because there are just so many new phones in the Indian smartphone market that it's just difficult to keep up with the demand. But Glazed Ink helps you with that.
Absolutely. And Glazed Ink makes these incredibly high quality screen protectors which have, which take the shape of the 2.5D curved glass, which is in most phones these days on the front. Yes. And therefore, that is absolutely incredible to fit on your phone.
So phones like Realme XT, Redmi K20, K20 Pro, the OnePlus 7T even,
which is coming soon.
The Redmi Note 8 also is available. I actually saw that on the website. So you just have all the new smartphones and you have their screen protectors available on this website.
We would suggest that you go and check out Glazed Ink. They've got incredible screen protectors. Link is in the description below. Do that right now.
So beginning this comparison with design, now the ASUS ROG Phone 2, according to me, is actually a very well designed smartphone. I think we both agree on the fact that it's very well designed.
Absolutely. Compared to the ROG One, it's a marked improvement. It's classier. The glass is curving on the back. It's very well done. I mean, it is still gamery, in many senses with the ROG logo on the back, the vents and those angular lines. But it's done very subtly and very nicely. And also all the design changes are actually functional improvements as well.
Exactly. And the phone is of course slightly heavier. That's also felt when you're using it because it's taller than the ROG Phone 1. There is a 6000 mAh battery inside. There are copper plates inside for better heat dissipation. So of course the phone will be heavy. But if you get a chance to hold this phone in your hand and try it sometime, I don't think this is a massive phone. This is good enough.
I think it is a massive phone, no doubt. It's a 240 gram phone, but the weight distribution is very good for this thing. And of course, this is targeted at a gaming audience, so you're going to be using it with two hands for longer duration. So you need a phone that is hefty and easier to hold for longer duration. So I think in that scenario, the ROG Phone 2 actually makes a lot of sense. Plus, you've got these extra things like air triggers, which we will talk about in the gaming section.
There is a secondary USB Type-C port, so you can charge from either side. If you're playing a game like this, you can just charge from here, so that doesn't interrupt you.
Right.
So there are just a lot of good elements on this. That said, we're talking about the OnePlus 7T and this is another classy design that we have.
Yes, OnePlus keeps refining their design over and over again. But I think that the camera ring, the bump out here has polarized a lot of opinions. Some people absolutely hate it. Some people like it. Some people think that it looks like a camera now when you're taking a photograph. So all of those things. But I certainly feel that it is a bit of an anomaly because it breaks from the design. Having said that, they've managed to keep it as refined as possible. And I think that the weight distribution, the hefty, the taller aspect ratio now making it easier to hold in the hand and use. So now at 190 grams, it's definitely far more usable than the OnePlus 7 Pro and even slightly better than the OnePlus 7 if you ask me. This is in the right dead center of these two, and I think that it does a very good job of refining the design over and over again.
And I think coming to design, while both these phones are very well designed, I think the majority of the crowd who's not looking to game might actually prefer the OnePlus 70, and I think we'll prefer the OnePlus
70 over the ROG
for majority of people, unless you certainly want something that looks like this.
Like if you are into like hardcore mobile gaming, then the ROG Phone 2 is fine. But for generally for every audience out there, something like the Glacier Blue and the Frosted Silver that you get on the OnePlus 70 is gonna take a lot of hearts away.
Absolutely. But now from design, let's move on to the display. Ershad, what do you think? Which one has the better display of the two?
Oh, that's a tough one primarily because before we talk even about the display quality and stuff like that, there is one thing that we need to note is that ASUS is like no notch, nothing. They're like, we'll put two bezels up and bottom.
Which is why I like this.
Which is why Shree likes this. There is a slight water drop notch out here on the OnePlus 70.
It's honestly much smaller than I saw with the last phone. It's one of the smallest that I've seen.
And I think you were also mentioning that you like the fact that the corners are squared off.
Yeah, squared off. So it's the previous phones were slightly rounded on the corners. This is a more squarish looking design, and I certainly like the look of it. It's like a small note thing.
Yeah. So it's 20:9 aspect ratio as well, so it's taller as well. And both of these phones top out at Full HD plus resolution, so there's no difference over there. But when you talk about brightness, sustained brightness on the OnePlus 70 is slightly higher, and it is actually better than even the 7 Pro for that matter. So the 70 is definitely really good design. Both of these support the display DCI-P3 color gamut, and both of them have HDR support. But one thing that ASUS has done really well is calibrate the color accuracy of the ROG Phone 2, which I think is incredible. It has a delta E of less than 1. All you need to know is that if you're a gamer and if you care a lot about the color accuracy of your smartphone display, then the ASUS ROG Phone 2 does a very good job.
And you get that 120 Hz refresh rate, that 240 Hz touch substrate response, and that is simply phenomenal, and it is truly felt. Of course 60 to 90 is also felt, but if you've used a 60 Hz phone till now and you use this, it'll spoil you.
These are one of the very few phones out in the market with higher refresh rate displays, and therefore it completely sets them apart. I mean, honestly, there are certain areas in the display where the OnePlus 70 is better, like for example the brightness, but with the touch response rate and and the actual refresh rate, I think the ROG Phone 2 is better. So I think I call it a tie. What about you?
For me, like I actually like the ROG Phone's display because it also doesn't have a notch. So
that's one thing. So if you are on that side of the fence where you don't like the notch, then the ROG Phone 2 is good. But the OnePlus 70's design is excellent as well, and most people are gonna love it.
Now from display and design, let's move on to software before going to performance, because performance is going to be a long one.
Absolutely. That's what she said.
So now we talk about software, and here I think while ASUS has done a lot of good here, there is a lot of good stuff. There is of course that gaming skin that you have, the ROG skin, but you also have now the option on the ROG Phone 2 to actually go to a classic skin,
right?
That the ASUS 6Z used.
I absolutely love that feature. The fact that you can actually use Zen UI, which is a slight customization over Android, classic vanilla Android 9 Pie. So that's really good, but the gaming customizations are pretty awesome as well.
Exactly, you can actually customize a lot of things, the sensitivity on the air triggers, the color wheel on the back. You can just customize a lot of things on this. Customize even gaming profiles for separate games, so you can have that PUBG does this, PUBG maybe takes higher sensitivity on the air triggers, maybe you can play
in fact you can even customize the clock speed. There is just crazy things to do on this, like it's just nuts. The software is extremely deeply integrated, it works really fast, it responds really well. There's 12 gigs of RAM, so on the higher end variant, on the lower end it's 8 GB of RAM, which
still
is
a 8 GB is
okay. Anyway, we're going to performance, we'll talk about that later, but software wise it's done really well. I think that ASUS has done a good job.
That is
Having said that,
exactly,
this is the OnePlus we're talking about, guys. Oxygen OS on top of Android 10.
Android 10, absolutely.
Out of the
first phones in India.
Even before the Pixel.
Yeah, one of the first phones that you'll be able to buy out of the box with Android 10.
That's incredible. I think that is one thing that OnePlus always gets right, their software, but during my review experience, there were a few issues, and I've mentioned that in my review. However, OnePlus has confirmed that all of those issues will be ironed out, and I completely trust them, primarily because OnePlus has an excellent track record of software updates. So really, it is just a pity that we get these phones early, and then we have to sit through these issues. I mean,
it's good that we get
that's true.
Okay.
It's good that we get these phones early so we can make good videos for you. That's what we meant.
Yeah.
But the point is that it is a pity that these phones are shipped out early without the final retail software. By the time you guys get the phone, the software will be incredible on the OnePlus.
Absolutely.
I'm pretty sure about that.
Exactly. And with the software, although the ROG Phone 2 has a ton of features, I think you'll really need someone who's into that gaming experience, who's into doing all those stuff to actually utilize all that.
Absolutely.
So for someone who's not gonna game a lot, just like the phone's hardware, I think the OnePlus 70 is gonna be a much more sensible choice.
Absolutely. I think that the OnePlus 70 is a more well-rounded smartphone. It's a phone for everybody, where the ROG Phone 2, in terms of software, it's a phone for gamers.
Yeah. So now we move on to the cameras. I know you wanted performance, but we're gonna make you wait.
Yeah.
So we first want to talk about the cameras between the ROG Phone 2 and the OnePlus 70. And luckily, Ershad has actually done his review of the OnePlus 70, so he has an idea about.
Yeah, I did the review of the OnePlus 70, and I took a few samples with the ROG Phone 2 as well for comparison. She's doing a full comparison, so stay tuned for that with the ROG Phone 2. But let us understand that the ROG Phone 2 is not meant for camera capabilities.
Absolutely.
That said, it does a pretty good job. Especially with the details, it's really, really good. It cranks up the exposure a little bit more than I like. And the contrast could have been better, which is what OnePlus has been working on for a long time. The algorithm has become way better now. But the parity, I mean, both the cameras, I mean, there's dual cameras on that, there's triple cameras on this.
And the standard sensor is exactly the same. So
Exactly
Sony
the same.
IMX586, 48 megapixel sensor on both. ASUS uses the secondary as a wide angle camera.
So there is a wide angle and a telephoto 2x optical zoom on this. So I mean, all the three cameras look like they're taken from completely different phones altogether. So there is no color science parity right now, but I'm pretty sure that OnePlus should be able to improve
after that
to a certain
software update.
Yeah, after that software update should be able to improve a little bit. But again, with the ROG Phone 2 also, there is no parity between the color science as such. So overall, when you look at it, even features wise, even the performance wise, even the kind of pictures that you get with your phone, I think the OnePlus 70 is better. I mean, you can take a look at the camera comparison for a complete view, but my opinion is that the OnePlus 70 is better, even with video and stuff like that.
Absolutely. So the simple thing is that if you're looking to buy the better camera phone of the two, then the OnePlus 70 is your choice. That's it. If you do go for the ROG Phone 2, then you do get a good enough camera.
And if you want the best camera phone in this price range, you'll have to compromise on a lot of other things with the Google Pixel 3a or the 3a XL.
So now actually let's talk about performance and battery together.
Yeah.
So with performance, we have the same chipsets in both phones.
855 Plus, which is a slightly overclocked variant of the 855 at 2.96 GHz.
Yeah.
Both are extremely powerful. Both of them come with 8 GB of RAM, at least the variants that we have. This one has 256 GB of storage, that has 128 GB of storage. That's the only difference. No memory card slot on each either. And I mean, both are extremely good phones, no doubt about that. As far as performance is concerned, day-to-day performance, no heating problem either, excellent power efficiency, all of those things. I think that both the phones are great.
The performance is exactly similar on both these when talking about day-to-day performance.
Yes.
You'll feel that this is faster. That's also because of the refresh rate.
Yeah.
You might feel like the surfing is smoother because it is, because of the refresh rate. There's just a perception of this being faster. That said, there is one area where the ROG Phone 2 does win, and that is the gaming performance.
Yes, there are so many things that the ROG Phone 2 does that when you're looking at something for just purely gaming, the ROG Phone 2 is a beast.
It's
for
unbeatable.
Yeah. I mean, not necessarily unbeatable per se with respect to the other phones that are going to come in soon, but the OnePlus 7T can also game really well. There's no doubt about it.
It can.
In fact, the vibration effect on the OnePlus 7T is excellent. They've done a really good job with it. But with the air triggers, with all the custom features that you get,
4-layer cooling system here, the gaming profiles that you can make, it all comes together to give you a very good gaming experience. That said, this is truly an enthusiast phone.
Absolutely.
An enthusiast gaming experience, and for someone even to play the most demanding of titles, even the OnePlus 7T will be able to play that easily.
Absolutely. In case you're in a battle with your friend saying, "Oh, my OnePlus 7T is better than your ROG Phone 2," or if your friend is like, "No, my ROG Phone 2 is better than your OnePlus 7T," then both of you are wrong, because both are almost, at par when it comes to gaming performance, and both of you can play PUBG and get killed by others.
But yes, for professional PUBG players, get the ROG Phone.
Absolutely, no doubt about that. Not just professional PUBG players. If you're playing at least 1 to 2 hours of PUBG every day, I think that you should invest in a better device.
Exactly. Also because there are 4 antennas in this, so
Yes.
4 Wi-Fi antennas, so that because a general flagship, a normal phone has 2 antennas, one on top, one on this side. But what happens is when you're playing like this, you generally block it.
Yeah.
But this one has actually 4 antennas to make sure that you're never blocking
A signal.
Yeah, exactly, and you are getting the most network performance out of it.
Yeah, so all of those things, all of the little things make it a better gaming phone than the OnePlus 7T. And for regular day-to-day performance, both of them are on par. Now, coming to the battery life, the OnePlus 7T has a 3800 mAh battery. The ASUS ROG Phone 2 has a 6000 mAh battery.
It's just not in the same league.
So, of course, you need all that grunt to power all of the internals that are there on the ROG Phone 2. So, I did the test. I did the test. With the OnePlus 7T, I got around 6 hours and 30 minutes of screen on time with 90 Hz refresh rate and around 6 hours 30 minutes, slightly lower than that, and 1080p display. I got around 6 hours and 30 minutes on that, where I was pushing it to the limits. Always on display. There is no always on display on this. So always on display, 120 Hz refresh rate. Brightness at maximum. This was on automatic brightness, so which means that it was switching. Brightness on maximum. I was playing games. I was doing everything, and I still got 6.5 hours with that. And I'm pretty sure. Okay, to put things in perspective, you're easily gonna get 10 hours if you use it the way you use the OnePlus 7T.
I'm sure, and it'll be a struggle to deplete this battery life in a day. I think if you're using it at even 90 Hz on regular usage, not playing a lot of games, then I think you can take this 2 days without having to charge it completely.
2 days, yeah. Obviously, like if you do like a 60 Hz refresh rate, and if you sort of don't play games and you're using it like a regular phone where you're like surfing through web and all, of course you can take it through 2 days, at least a day and a half for sure. So basically, when it comes to performance and battery life, I think that the ROG Phone 2
does have a slight edge.
Overall when it comes to better gaming performance and battery, of course.
Yeah, but it's the same thing. When you come to camera, the software, the OnePlus 7T has an edge. So clearly, when it comes to gaming and battery performance, I think the ROG Phone 2 clearly deserves to have that edge.
I have a question for you, Shri. A lot of the people who watch our videos and a lot of other videos in India, at least, are a lot of them are specs hungry. They love that absolute beastly specs for the price that you get. So I think that ASUS is doing the right thing. What do you think about that?
I feel that the ASUS ROG is of course a great phone. It is completely specced out. You would think that with that spec sheet and all those specs, you would think that everyone would want to buy this phone. But I don't necessarily think that this is the best smartphone to buy out there. Even the consumers who keep taunting you, brands taunting us on YouTube, talking about specs and everything, even they, when it comes to buying a phone, spending around 40,000 on this, I think they'll also want to look at the experience of it, how they can use this phone daily, maybe go to school with this, maybe go to office with this, maybe go to college.
Maybe it's not for everyone, but it's definitely for the performance hungry nerds out there. And you're right. For the mainstream audience, I think the OnePlus 7T is definitely far more useful. And in my review, I said this specifically that if ASUS wanted to convince the mainstream audience, it should not have used the ROG Phone 2 as the base point for selling the phone. You know what I even said in the review, that ASUS actually missed the boat with the 6Z. I think that the 6Z could have been the phone that was the OnePlus competitor that would have just changed the whole course of things, but ASUS even went crazy over there. So that's just something that ASUS wanted to do this year. The ROG Phone 2 is no doubt a much refined gaming phone, which is coming closer to that whole, I want to probably take a look at it as my flagship smartphone, but still not there yet.
Yeah, I think if we talk about it, if we talk about the market, I believe that the market for the ROG Phone 2 is different at any price.
Right.
Even at 70,000, even at 38,000, I think it's just a different market. There might be people who were not thinking of buying an ROG and might buy an ROG, but I don't think that number is going to be a very large number.
So yeah, so that's absolutely right. Again, we're coming back to the same point, circling back to the same point again. OnePlus has just created that brand identity. A lot of people are just like associating themselves with OnePlus now. They think of the brand as a brand worth aspiring for as well. If you've been buying phones in the 20,000 price range, there is the next step up is
the marketing game has been strong for
very
OnePlus.
strong, and that is why they're selling in the premium price range. Even Samsung is worried for that matter. So ASUS is actually, honestly, I would love to root for an underdog. ASUS is one of my favorite brands, doing a lot of great things. I really absolutely love the way.
This is an impossible phone, seriously, with the kind of things that this offers. I think a combination between the ROG Phone 2 and an ASUS 6Z
would have been incredible.
Would have been actually.
In fact, you know what? I don't want that fancy, swivel, this thing and all.
Exactly.
Nothing of that sort.
Simple camera like this.
Simple camera like this. Just get a nice mix of both for next year. Get out a nice phone.
Like, I'm actually excited.
I'm excited.
We've seen the 6Z, we've seen the ROG Phone 2. We know what ASUS can now do.
Actually, I think with the ROG Phone 2, it's even more evident as to what ASUS can do.
Exactly.
As a gaming phone, the ROG Phone 2 is incredible, and with the pricing they've done is a great job. No doubt about that. But overall, I think that the OnePlus 70 will be the more preferred phone.
At this point,
for sure. But overall, if you are confused between buying the OnePlus 70 or the ASUS ROG Phone 2, then you have to ask yourself a couple of questions. One of the main question would be, how much do you care about battery life? Right? So battery life is something that you get excellent on this.
Exactly.
A lot of people who are constantly on the move and probably they don't have access to a charging point at all might really love that 6,000 mAh battery inside.
I believe what Ershad is saying is actually absolutely right. If you want that kind of battery life, then the ROG Phone 2 is actually a very good option.
Then you can look beyond the fact that it's a gamery looking phone or it's got all of these gaming elements. Just look beyond that, buy the phone because it's a great flagship phone and it could be a better option for you than the OnePlus 70. And the second point that I was making was that if you are a gamer who plays games like PUBG or anything like Fortnite for an hour or two a day, then it's an eyes closed by. If you're considering between the ROG Phone 2 and the OnePlus 70, then the ROG Phone 2.
Yeah, and if you're actually looking to enter the professional circuit, because we know that the gaming market is growing by the day.
Yes.
It's one of the biggest industries in the world even right now, and it's only growing exponentially. So I'm sure there are people who are trying to enter this market professionally as gamers. I think for you guys, ASUS has really come down and got you one of the best deals that you can ever get. This is one of the most affordable options that you can get to enter into this market and enter with a bang.
Yes, but again, that I think is a very niche segment of audience we're talking about. Somebody who just cares about battery life and somebody who just cares about gaming. For most of the other people, the OnePlus 70 is an excellent smartphone.
I believe that.
OnePlus continues to make great smartphones. This one is really good. In fact, this is very well done. Initially, I wasn't pretty excited about it, but after using it, I see what OnePlus has done here. It's refined, and it's, in fact, we even discussed this. The OnePlus 70 doesn't feel like a T upgrade at all. It feels like a phone in and of itself.
Exactly. It's a new way. It's a new version, basically.
Yeah.
And with that, we come to an end of this video.
Yes, I hope you guys liked it. Also, don't forget to check out our sponsors, Glazed Ink, for sure. The link is in the description. And let's take it to the comment section. Let's have a discussion on what you guys think of this comparison. Until next time, this is Ershad from Mr. Phone signing off.
This is Sreehari from Mr. Phone, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Goodbye.